Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 30th of March, 2023, guys. So, yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff, the usual thing that we do here. But before we go there, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll disappear here for a little bit. I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the chart, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us, guys. You can get in touch with us, and I believe you can find something useful, and we can actually help you out if you're interested in something what we offer. So yeah, feel free, guys. Now then, jumping into the charts, let's have a look at the technical picture here on Nikkei. So, look, I talked about this in the beginning of this week and last week as well. I said that in order for me to go a little bit higher towards this 27,863 territory, I need to see a clear push through this barrier, this 27,440. Well, so far, so good. And I would actually say mission accomplished. So we had a test of this area. We even actually had a little bit of an overshoot. But hey, well, that's fine. I mean, look, that's great. In general, everything is kind of working out nicely here, I would say. So yeah, at the moment, I'm going to keep an eye on this area because, again, I want to see how this is going to play out. If it's going to break, okay, we could go a little bit higher. If it stays somewhere around here, then maybe a bit of a retracement here back down could be possible. So let's keep an eye on that one. But again, at this point, guys, I would say, yeah, let's continue monitoring this barrier, this resistance zone. If it holds, then yes, like I said, a bit of a retracement could be possible. Let's have a quick look on the Fibonacci's. Let's say how much we have retraced here. And yeah, you can see that 61.8, beautiful test. Look, we're near this area right now. We're trying to climb above it. We're currently climbing above it. So let's see if we can actually go further north. But at this point, I'm just observing the price action. Look, my target got reached. Happy about it. Let's see, you know, if of course if we can go further north, that's going to be interesting. However, I would like to see maybe a bit of a retracement here or something like that. But again, let's wait and see. To be honest, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside because, again, as my title says, like, you know, tech and cryptos are leading the way, and in general, other indices are also picking up the pace. So yeah, look, we're having an interesting moment right now. The markets are getting a little bit more bullish. I'm talking about the stock market getting a little bit more bullish. It's risk on environment again. So the question, for how long it can be maintained. Now, like I said, let's for now looking at Nikkei. Let's wait and see. But in terms of ASX 200, when I'm gonna get to Nasdaq and the S&P, I'll talk a little bit more about the Fed a little bit. So yeah, look, the technical picture here is interesting as well. So what I talked about here previously, I said that if we clear this barrier, the 7,100 zone, then yes, I will go a little bit higher. I will go back to this downside line right here, and we could, you know, take it from there. But at this point, look, I'm cautiously bullish on this one, on ASX 200, on the Australian index. I'm aiming for this downside line initially. Currently, we're getting a little hold up near the 50 and the 100-day EMAs, so that's fine. Look, my next target, like I said, is this downside line, and if we somehow fall back, well, actually, not only below this 7,100 level, but maybe also somewhere below this little area of well, previously I looked at it resistance, now it's support, could be acting as support. The 7,065 zone approximately around here. If we do fall below that as well, then I could consider a larger correction here to the downside. Now, Nasdaq 100, guys. So yesterday, of course, as you know, tech did rally strongly, and yeah, we saw a fantastic move here to the upside. And okay, look, whenever we get a little bit frustrated with the financial sector, and if there is still a risk appetite, then everybody starts jumping into tech. And this is exactly what happened yesterday, and there we go. It's a perfect example. Now, the question is, of course, for how long this all this could continue. Now, I would say if you know this information beforehand, then probably the best time to jump into tech was just after the kind of the SVB announcement. You know, the whole SVB saga when it started. Then we had Credit Suisse, of course, and then so on, and so on. So, look, I'm not saying that you're late to the party, no, but I mean there could still be some upside, but just be careful and be cautious, and kind of think of it that you might be, you know, you're at the party and the party's kind of already ending. I'm not saying this is going to collapse and everything. No, there's going to be another party, but just this one is kind of running out. So, you know, let's say there could be some more time left. You know, still there are some people, everybody's, you know, chilling, and everybody's enjoying their time. So this is where you know, you can step in, but you have to accept the fact that, you know, the party might last only for an hour. So and that's why like I said, the same story here with the tech. Okay, look, it could go a little bit higher here, especially on Nasdaq, for example. The technical picture, what I mentioned previously, I said that if we do clear that 12,950 territory, and we also clear that psychological 13,000 mark, then yes, I will go a little bit higher. My next target right now will be this 13,200, and well, let's round it up maybe towards the 20, so 220 approximately around here. That's near the high of the 26th of August. Good potential target, but hey, look, I mean, I do understand it's not maybe far, but let's just grab what we can. Unless this suddenly starts pushing back below the 12,950 territory right here. If it does that, then, well, I mean, we could be back in this little range here, but I would get a little bit more excited with the downside if we do drop below the 12,732, 33 territory, somewhere around here. I talked about that level. Let's wait and see, of course. But the S&P, by the way, in terms of the kind of the party ending maybe soon. But look, in general, this thing that what's happening right now, this whole risk-on environment, and people are enjoying the stock market. Everybody's jumping into stocks. Okay, that's great, but this is exactly what the Fed wants. And look, in the beginning of this week, I talked about the Fed fund futures and said what I said, that look, initially we were at around 60, a little bit higher than 60% for a no hike in May, and now that the stock market is kind of rallying and pushing higher, yeah, we are getting that, you know, this column here getting a little bit lower, and yeah, like I said, we're kind of, it's shifting a little bit towards a 25 basis point increase, but again, it's still, I would say, it's still around, you know, half. So that's why, you know, let's wait and see. Again, we have the data coming out today from the U.S. We have the GDP numbers coming out from the U.S. today. So at the moment, the Q-on-Q number is expected to come out the same at 2.7. Okay, let's of course, let's wait and see how that comes out. But I don't think that the GDP will be something of a big watch. I think that it might be the PCE number tomorrow. So again, let's wait and see. Of course, initial jobless claims, that's something also coming out today. But tomorrow, I think it could be a little bit more eventful. So let's wait and see, guys, for that one, and let's see how that's going to play out. But yeah, coming back to the S&P 500. Oh, and by the way, I can see there is a comment there in the chat room, 4,100 on the as I understood, on the S&P, right? And works. Okay, look, my problem here with the S&P is the in order for me to go higher towards that, even towards that 4,100, I need to see a clear push through this whole barrier right here. Just let me, there we go. So this one right there. So if we do clear this barrier, okay, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside, and I'll go further north, and I'll aim for that 4,100 zone. Even maybe a little bit higher here. Ideally, I would prefer to aim for this 4,186. But hey, look, 4,100 looks attractive, to be honest. However, a confirmation break is still needed for me from my side. So that's why we could go a little bit higher. For example, if we get a nice little hold up somewhere around here, and then, you know, it's going to tease everybody, showing that willingness to go higher, but then actually confirms a false breakout and goes back down. So yeah, you know, it's not like something that we want to see. The only issue that I really have here with, let's say, further upside, and okay, look, don't get me wrong, it could still continue pushing, and I'm actually leaning towards the upside, but I do accept the fact that there are some obstacles, and one of the obstacles that I'm keeping an eye on is this one. So this one right here, this downside line taken from the high of the 2nd of February, could be a little bit of an issue, but hey, look, the 4,100 sits perfectly near this downside line. So could be a nice good target. Like I said, if you wanna, you know, try to gamble this or risk it, okay, there is, of course, you can try to do that. But of course, strong recommendation. First of all, of course, risk only what you can afford to lose, and of course the stop loss in place. I mean, that's the most important, because again, if this suddenly reverses, if suddenly it reverses back down here and falls, let's say for example, today starts falling below, you know, below this little hurdle right here, the 4,055, and yeah, it could kind of end up drifting back to this upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of March, and then we could maybe start considering maybe a little breakout or something like that. But again, still a little bit too far for that. At the moment, yes, I am leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but some confirmation breaks are needed, or let's say a very tight stop loss just in case. Now jumping into DAX, guys, very quickly on DAX. So far so good. Look, I mean, it is beautiful. I talked about this in the beginning of this week, and we were still balancing below this downside line. Look, I'm looking at the futures right now. So, you know, in the cash index, you might have a different price. I mean, we do have the cash index as well. I mean, you can trade that on our platform too. So just, you know, keep it in mind. But look, for now, the technical picture is working out perfectly. I talked about this, and I said that if we break the downside line, yes, my next target is the 15,500 tick. And then if we clear that one, my next target is the 15,700. Not yet tick, not yet. But hey, maybe we're getting there. So at the moment, I am kind of, let's say, leaning still towards the upside. I want to see how all this is going to play out, of course. But hey, everything's, like I said, the stock market right now is enjoying the moment, enjoying the upside. How long will that last? Again, look, the scenario that I'm kind of keeping in mind, and again, this is only me. I might be wrong on this one, but just kind of trying to brainstorm here a little bit. So, for example, on Friday, we get the PCE numbers, right? If those come out higher than the forecast, and then higher than expected, or maybe even, like, you know, higher than the previous numbers, well, that might bring the stock market back down a little bit. So that's why maybe the stock market could continue rallying today as well. But if the reason, like I said, and the PC comes out higher, the reason is that why it could go lower, why the indices could go lower, because it could be a nice signal for the Fed that, hey, we need more kind of rate hikes, and we need to stick to the plan of hiking and blah blah blah. Because look, all this rally right now, what's happening is kind of because this thing here, I mean, it is on the higher side, and there's there is expectation that there won't be any rate hike in May. However, if, like I said, the PCE comes out higher and the indices continue to rally too far, too strongly, then this is not going to sparkle with the Fed very much, because although the Fed, yeah, they say that they want to support growth and all that stuff, no, they need to bring inflation down. So and the only measure right now is to either continue raising rates, but this is another thing that they cannot do that too much, or we need some sort of a little panic in the financial sector, because so that financial institutions would stop lending out money, because that's the important bit here. So yeah, and or I should say lending out money easily. So yeah, like I said, for now, for looking at the technical picture here on DAX, yes, pushing nicely to the upside. Let's see how far we can go. US dollar. Okay, look, yesterday I talked about this, and I kept on talking about this from the beginning of this week. Basically, I said that, look, keep your eyes on this falling channel. Yesterday we got closer to the upper side of the falling channel, and we actually, well, we broke it, but there's a big but. We broke the upper side of the channel, and we kind of broke it by default in a way. Like the next candle kind of opened up outside, so it's not something that I look for. I like to see like a stronger breakout, but okay, that will do for now. Okay, I would say maybe, yeah, I could be leaning a little bit more towards the upside if we somehow continue to trade above the upper side of this falling channel, and especially if we also push back above the 102 well, let's round it up here, 40, 102.40. If we roughly push back above it, then yes, I will go not as high as I've drawn here, but I will go initially towards the target, this one, the 103.05, and then the maybe the 50-day EMA. So let's see how this is going to play out, of course. But look, at this point, I am cautiously bullish on the US dollar, but if it somehow starts falling below yesterday's low, near the 102 zone here, then yes, I will start considering lower levels again. So let's keep an eye on that. And gold, looking at gold, this one is a roller coaster. Honestly, this one's also it seems like it's also waiting for the news, the data to come out. So it's just, yeah, it's kind of pushing, sideways, moving sideways a little bit. And in general, what I said to you previously, that if we continue to trade above that 1960 territory, I will stick to the upside. I'll go higher. Look, we're now trying to move higher, but again, at this point, I think that because oh, excuse me very much. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, guys, I do apologize for disappearing here a little bit. I had to clear up my throat because my throat was not feeling very well. Look, I think I need a drink of tea. Okay, look, with the gold. Okay, my problem is right now is that for the past kind of let's say 3 days, or at least 2 days, we have been moving in this this kind of sideways here, and this action. Some of you might say, hey, maybe we're actually coiling up here as well, which could be the case. And look, let me just jump into a 4-hour chart in this one. So if we draw it this way, guys, I think that, yeah, so something like that. So we could be coiling up, and in general, if we get something like that, then yes, certainly we're waiting for a clear break through it, through one of the sides of the triangle, before, let's say, considering the next short-term directional move. So far, looking at the daily chart here, you can see that yes, we're balancing inside that. Well, actually, looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we're balancing still inside that triangle. The question is for how long? I mean, and which way we're going to break out. At the moment, we're seeing, yes, some nice activity here. But look, again, today we have the GDPs coming out, so just kind of be careful with that. Check out the economic calendar. You know what's happening there and what times it's in your location, wherever you are. You know, like I said, we have the US GDPs coming out, so we'll keep an eye on that one. And don't be surprised if we, let's say, stick around here just until that data comes out. And I think before that, we don't really have anything else apart from what? Okay, European consumer confidence. Okay, the German CPIs. I think Bavaria, Brandenburg CPIs. Okay, look. Before that, yes, yeah, the German CPIs, the preliminary CPIs are coming out. But of course, yes, the GDPs are going to be on the watch. Yes, so check out the economic calendar for that. And let's like I said, don't be surprised if we just continue to trade in this triangle before kind of, you know, before that data comes out. Look, oh, by the way, in the chat room here, Antwerp Silver. Look, just a very quick, I don't have it here on my list, but let me just pick up on that one. Let me bring it back on the list here. So, silver. Look, silver is on fire. Honestly, this one is one of the best performers. And look, previously I talked about this. I applied some Fibonacci's, and it kind of initially it worked. Now it's stopped working. But I think that what I need to do here, remove the Fibonacci and just keep an eye on this one. And actually, let me just double check. Okay, look. I will stick to the levels that I have here still. So what I said to you previously, that when I was covering silver before, by the way, so I said that if we drop and stay below the 23.11, 12 zone, somewhere around here, because I have this highlighted resistance barrier, which was previously looked at as a very good resistance barrier, and it did kind of play out initially good. So we drifted lower, but I was kind of hoping maybe to see a little bit more retracement. But hey, I don't get everything of what I want all the time, so I have to go from what what the market gives me, unfortunately. But look, at the moment, I mean, what I said to you previously as well, that if we actually ignore this arrow, if we start pushing through this one straight away, and this is exactly what's happening right now, if we're pushing through that 23.30 zone and we're going to stay above it, then yes, further advances could be possible in a way. So my only little problem here right now is, let me just grab a line. I'm going to recycle this one. Always recycle, guys. 23.53 zone, approximately around here. We're currently stuck near this barrier, and the question, can we go further north? Okay, look, my problem with silver is that we did get a good move, and we're still having that good move. Yes, demand is there. Wonderful, but maybe a bit of a retracement. I would like to see a bit of a retracement. But look, what I'm going to do here is, at the moment, if you're trying to jump in right now on the bandwagon, okay, you might, as I mentioned right now with the indices as well, you might get that extra move here. Yes, we could see some more action, maybe going towards that 24 and a half eventually. But okay, this could be a decent area to cover. But given that we kind of already had that, you know, strong move, don't be surprised, like I said, if we do correct back to the downside. And I think that this, although I like this highlighted territory, but the levels here are not really working out, especially I think this one right there. Let me just get rid of it. And I think a few adjustments have to be made here. So let's keep this area. Look, if it somehow falls back below the 23.30, there we go. Yes, I think this is a little bit more logical. If we fall back below the 23.30 and we stay below it, and we see the daily candle, the body of the daily candle staying below this, I will consider a bit of a retracement. I will consider a bit of a retracement towards the area somewhere around here, the low of this week, the current lowest point of this week near the 22.82. And then if that gets cleared, of course, and so on, we could go further south. But again, further south, I mean only up until here somewhere, this 22.60, or even the EMAs only. So then maybe a retest, then jump up. Retest Antwerps. Yes, I mean, look, again, this is my preferred scenario to see a bit of a throwback and then kind of, you know, push higher. But again, as I said, the market doesn't always give me what I wanted, you know, so you know, this one, like I said, this one's a tricky one. Although I am bullish, a little bit more bullish on this one, but my brain understands and tells me that, hey, we had that push higher and maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible. However, if we start clearing this 23.53 territory, look, it's not stopping it to just give us another, let's say, strong move to the upside, you know, spike and then a reverse. So normally in commodities, this is what happens. You have let's say if you're looking for a retracement or something like that, we get a spike, it goes higher, takes everybody out, takes all the short sellers out, and then it corrects back down. So it's like, you know, it's a standard thing here on gold and silver and on oil as well. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So if you are, let's say, considering for maybe for a short or something like that, yes, it could be a great one, but don't forget that there could be a possibility of a spike and then a retracement. However, if we don't get the spike, if this barrier continues to hold, keep your eyes on that 23.30. And then, like I said, maybe a drift below it could open the door towards lower levels. Of course, if you're, this is me trying to overcomplicate things here right now, I think. But in general, I have to mention this because even if we do, yes, correct back down, keep your eyes on this little short-term upside line. Again, it's a little bit on the tentative side, but if, of course, if this gets broken, then yes, more sellers could join in. Okay, guys, let me just jump back into another commodity, oil. So, I mean, this worked out perfectly and mission accomplished. Team, we're heading home. Well, or maybe not. Maybe we're just going to hang around here a little bit. But look, what I talked about, I said that if we push above that 70 territory, I will aim for this upside line to test it from underneath, together with the 50-day EMA. Boom, everything got tested, touched, and perfectly. So now we're seeing a bit of a retracement. Okay, that's fine. Now the question is, what I said yesterday to you guys is that in order for me to continue this path higher, I need to see a push back above this upside line and above this 50-day EMA. If we get that, my next target is the 100 and maybe even the 200. But again, that the 200 may be a little bit, yeah, on the tricky side, but at least maybe the 100 could be my next target. But for that, I need to see a push back above the 50-day EMA and the upside line. For now, as long as it stays somewhere in here, I'm just observing the price action. For me to get bearish on this one, although overall I'm bearish on oil. However, I mean, in order for me to, let's say, from the technical perspective, to go lower, I mean, a push back down and maybe actually even a push back below that. You know what? I think I'll stick to that 70 territory. I think that was the best area, and it acted as a good area of support previously, then resistance. Now it could take the role of support again. Tell the market indeed. 77 oil. Okay, 77 on oil. Look, good potential target. 77, 100 EMA I have here. Yes, good target, but for that, in order for me to go there, I need to see a push above the 50 first. And if I'm talking about 50-day EMA, and then we'll take it from there. But for the downside, I will get very comfortable, let's say, with examining the downside from, like I said, if we get a drop back below the 70 territory. Now, jumping into cryptos, of course, everybody's, talking crypto right now because in general, the market kind of sees cryptos also as sorry, I'm just reading the message right now. Antwerps bearish on oil due to upcoming recession. In a way, yes. Partially, yes. So in look, again, if the whole point of the Fed is to kind of lower our, spending, lower inflation. But by lowering inflation, that means we need to lower down our spending. And by lowering our spending, that means certain business, services will suffer. Obviously demand in oil might just drift a little bit to the downside. So I'm not saying that, I'm very, let's say, like bearish, like, for example, the beginning of the COVID times when it can just totally decline. No, or unless we have some sort of craziness in the market, then yes, we could see that huge drop again. and then a huge recovery back up. But look, in general, when I'm saying I'm bearish, I mean maybe bearish towards the 60s, maybe 55 level, something like that. So I'm not saying that I'm, crazy bearish towards the 30, unless we get some sort of like I said, a crazy move in the market. But at this point, yes, I am. But like, look, let's jump in back into the cryptos. Litecoin before I actually run out of time. But I appreciate actually if you do have any questions more. Well, honestly, just throw them out there, guys. Everybody, if you do have questions, I'll try to answer. If I'm not the smartest kid on the block, but hey, I'll try to answer that. Okay. Look, Litecoin. Looking interesting because I'll get to Ripple in a bit, but Litecoin is looking interesting as well. In general, if we just apply purely the technical analysis point here, we are above the upside line. So that means the short-term trend, upside line taken from the low of the 11th of March. So the short-term trend is still to the upside. However, as I said before, I need to see a clear push above this 94, or let's round it up here a little bit, 95 territory. I need to see a push with the 95 zone in order to go higher. Well, at the moment, I'm not getting that, so that's why I'm cautiously bullish. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 85.85 zone right here. Nice, beautiful number. Hey, let's see if we can get that. Ethereum also stuck here a little bit. Okay, it rebounded from this area perfectly. Look, I talked about this and I said that if we drop and stay below this, I will go a little bit lower, and we flirted with this area a little bit and rebounded and pushed back up. However, for me, it's not enough. I need to see a push above the 1846-47 zone, somewhere around here, approximately around here, guys. And then I could go a little bit more to the upside towards that psychological 2000 level or even above that. But yeah, we're not seeing like huge movement in neither of the Bitcoins, Litecoins, Ethereums, and all that stuff. Where we're seeing a huge move is Ripple, and this one is, you always want to say ripping to the upside. Ripple is ripping to the upside. Hey, great. But anyway, that's not really correct to say, I think. But anyway, look, fantastic move in general. My targets got reached. A while ago when I was covering Ripple, and I said that, hey, we were trading in this rising channel. If we clear it, we could go higher. We moved higher, but then we drifted back inside the channel here. I picked up on this as well. I said that if we stay inside the rising channel, then yes, maybe a bit of a drift back down could be possible. But instead, we broke again the upper side of the rising channel here. And look at where we went. We went all the way to all my targets. The 0.51, the 0.5485, and the 0.5589, or 90, roughly. The highest point of September of 2022, and I think, isn't that? Yeah, the highest point of September of 2022. Look, this whole area here is now the area to be watched. Because, again, I think that, yes, I think a bit of a calm moment is right now coming out. Okay, let me rephrase. I think that yes, we had the move. Great. The whole move happened because there are some rumors that, hey, the whole SEC case could be more or let's say the whole problem surrounding the Ripple with the SEC could be favorable towards Ripple, and that's why everybody's like jumping on the bandwagon. Hey, let's push Ripple higher and blah blah blah. But again, I'm not supporting SEC or anything like that, but just let's say I'm neutral, neither supporting Ripple nor SEC in this. I'm honestly like, I'm just I'm having my popcorn and watching the show. But what's interesting, I don't think SEC will give up that easily. So be careful. At the moment, yes, positivity is in the air, great. But this, in a way, is a perfect opportunity for them to start regulating the market in general, the whole crypto world. So that's why just kind of be cautious about this. Yes, great. I mean, in general, don't get me wrong, if everything comes out positive for Ripple, this could, sky high, move all the way towards that $1 mark even. But let's again, history. I know that maybe we could be missing out on something here, but honestly, I'll just go from history from what I have, from what I know, and just kind of how things shape up, I'm just going to be a little bit on the cautious side. I rather stay there and that front, and then, you know, take it from there basically, and then see if I can position myself, or I can, you know, I'll look into other cryptos which did not, you know, have that big move yet. Okay, let's jump into the forex world. So just a quick update. Look, I'll try to go very quickly through this because I talked a lot about this already, and in a way, AUDJPY, look, so far so good, working out perfectly. It's doing a good job here, and I would say already my mission accomplished almost, because my target is the 89 zone. I talked about this, and I said that if we break the downside line, I will go higher. Well, okay, great. We did go higher, and we're almost there. So look, if it's stalling somewhere around here, I'd rather take my profits and just kind of, okay, even if it's gonna go further north, and I'm kind of a little bit more believer of that. Okay, great, but at this point it's stalling near that 89 zone, and to be honest, I'd rather take my profits right now and just kind of leave it there, and want to see how this is gonna play out. But at this point, yes, if we do go further north and we clear the 89 zone, I will go a little bit further north here towards this downside line, initially towards the 50-day EMA and towards this downside line. For the downside scenario, I need to see well, first of all, I need to get rid of this downside line, no longer needed, and a drop below the 87 zone would be required for me. All this area right here, I'm just going to be observing the price action. AUDNZD, one of my favorite ones. Look, so far, so good. In general, I am keeping a close eye on this one, on this little range right here, because again, this it's very attractive, and I'm kind of leaning maybe a little bit more towards the upside. However, I cannot say that for sure because it goes against all my logic here, because again, a breakthrough one of the sides here of this range is needed before, let's say, considering the next short-term directional move. Now, if we do gonna get that push through that 1.0786 territory, great, I'll go to the upside, but I'll initially aim for all of these EMAs. For the downside, a drop below the 1.0688 territory would be required. If we do push through the upper side of this little range, watch out for this. Yeah, we have the downside line here. The downside line, which could play out nicely. So in general, we do have some room for, you know, a good move higher here, but yeah, let's like I said, let's not rush into anything, and let's for now target this area, and then we could take it from there, guys. So long story short, at the moment I would say, yeah, it's a beautiful one. We need a confirmation break. USDJPY, just a quick one. So, okay, look, also mission accomplished in a way, because I said that if we stay above this 130.54 territory, we might see a little rebound and a move towards the 50-day EMA and or maybe even higher. But again, at this point, I would say I am cautiously bullish, but I need a confirmation clearance here through the 50-day EMA, at least if I want to go to the upside, further upside. Now, if we do get that clearance, then yes, I'll go higher. But for the downside, I would like to see somewhere a drop below this 130.54 territory, and then we could take it from there. So long story short, guys, if you're looking for some upside or some downside on this one, I need to see, like I said, a clear break here through the 50-day EMA, and then we could go higher. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 130.54 in order to consider a move lower. All this area here, I'm just observing the price action. USDCAD. USDCAD, beautiful move lower. Look, one of my targets is reached, because I talked about this area, said that if we do fall below the 1.3630, I will go lower towards the 100-day EMA and the 1.3537. We didn't reach this target, but we reached the 50-day, the 100-day EMA. That's great. If I want to go further south, guys, I need to see a clearance of this territory. Simple as that. If we get that, great, I'll go further south. For the upside, now this is where I will lower my arrow here a little bit, and I'm going to mark this. this on the chart, and if we push this area, this support zone previously that I looked at, now could become a good resistance area. And also you could mark this little peak, the 1.3617 zone, and if we do push back above the 50-day EMA, then yes, this may attract a few more buyers into the game, and we could go a little bit to the upside, but not too much to the upside, because I have this downside line here, which could be in the way a little bit of the upside. GBPJPY, guys, also beautiful. There we go. Boom. I talked a lot about this, and I said that wait, guys, wait. And we got our breakout. So we're currently, yesterday we got the breakout. We cleared the downside line. And yes, as long as we stay above it, then I'm going to target the 164.25 territory. Simple as that. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, because so far it's working out. Let's see if we can reach my target right here. For the downside, I would need to see, well, this is the thing. For the downside, actually, if we do fall back below this 162.14 zone right here, or it's actually 161.85 zone, I do apologize, 161.85, if we do fall back below this, I will consider a move a little bit to the downside here, and then we could take it from there. EURAUD, building up a very nice structure here. Look, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while. Let me remove all the drawings and start fresh. To be honest, I just want to pick up on this. This looks very bullish for me, like bullish flag. I mean, we do have an upside line here. We do have a pole. We do have a flag forming. The only thing what we're missing is a breakout. But for that, I need to see a clear push above this 1.6254 territory right here. If we get that, this will attract a few more buyers into the game, guys. And yes, we could then start targeting some higher levels. And by higher levels, what I mean is I'm going to aim for this highest point of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, correct. 2021, 1.6437 area, approximately around here. Good potential target, but yeah, a confirmation break is still needed. Look, if we might see maybe a drift back down, maybe even a test of this upside line. But if this upside line starts getting, if it gets broken, then well, we could see a retracement back down. But I'm only going to aim for the 50-day EMA initially, or even better, this 1.5850 zone, and maybe we could end up forming a range of some sort here. So if we do fall below this upside line, we could also, it would mean that we were falling below the midpoint of the of this range, and of this potential range, because again, if this gets broken here, then we could drift towards the area right here. But again, I'm cautiously bullish, but a confirmation break is needed. EURNZD, similar story as well, bullish flag. Look, I talked about this yesterday, and so far, yes. I mean, similar story as with the Euro Aussie. Well, in a way, they do tend to move similarly. Sometimes, of course, we have differences, but in general, yes, similar, in a similar fashion. But again, looking at this picture here, confirmation break above the 1.7464 territory is required. And finally, EURUSD, guys. So still in the range, not doing much. Hey, just observing the price action, and also waiting for the for that GDP number, the US GDP number, to see if there is going to be any movement. But if not, then obviously, then of course, the action could come in tomorrow during the PC, or after the PCE number comes out. So just keep that in mind, guys. So yeah, at the moment, just living our lives, watching this one. If you are a range trader, congratulations. This is something probably you like to trade, but I will wait this one out. I'm just going to wait and see until I get a nice clear breakout through one of the sides of this range here. On the upper side, I have the 1.0885. On the downside, I have the 1.0760. If I get the clear breakthrough one of them, then yes, I'll get a little bit more excited with the next short-term directional move. So guys, thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for your views, for your likes, for your comments, for everything. I really appreciate that. Honestly, this means a lot. It really helps me a lot to continue running these, and I really, like I said, I really hope you found find these useful. A massive thank you. And if you want to catch me tomorrow, tomorrow morning, as always, my traders, or actually my traders, my daily pitch for my traders, for my daily pitch international for my traders who view this, who are watching this, and yes, hope you're going to join me tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock GMT time, as always. For now, guys, have a beautiful trading day. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose, and everything will be fine. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.